So, we were discussing MMSE estimate, right. First of all we said, so we defined the conditional expectation, expectation of y given x. We defined this as a random variable which is measurable under the sigma algebra sigma x, right. So, I mean in more plain language, expectation of y given x is a random variable which only depends on x, right. To say it a little more mathematically precisely, it is a sigma x measurable random variable, right. So, we call this some psi of x, right, and we said that. So, we define this only for the case when x and y are discrete and for the case when x and y have a joint PDF, the case when x and y are jointly continuous, right. Only in those two cases we could define this in terms of an expectation with respect to the conditional density or the conditional PMF, and then blindly replace the actual value with the random variable, right. That is how we defined it. It is somewhat it is a very elementary way of defining it, and we said that. So, we said the iterated expectation holds. So, this is the law of iterated expectation. So, we said expectation of y given x equal to expectation of y. So, this we proved again by explicitly writing it out for the case of discrete and jointly continuous random variables, and for I also said for any, so we said also for any measurable g, well any measurable g, we said expectation of y minus psi of x times g of x equal to 0, right. Right, this is what we said last time, and this again you can show by explicitly writing it out whenever this is defined, right. Expectation, another way of saying it is expectation of y g x is same as expectation of g of x times the conditional expectation, okay. Now, this result we interpreted geometrically, right. We said that you can view psi of x as an estimate of y that only depends on x, right. Suppose x and y are some dependent random variables and you want to estimate y, but you cannot observe y, right. Let us say you can only observe x and you want to somehow come up with an estimate for y, all right. So, if you view this as an estimate, the expectation of y given x as a random variable which estimates y only based on x, then y minus psi of x represents your estimation error, right. So, what this is saying is that in this estimation error is orthogonal to any function of what you observe, correct. So, we already established that these square integrable random variables are a Hilbert space, right. So, and the covariance plays the role of the inner product, right. So, in that sense we have I just drew a picture that said if you are looking at the subspace of sigma x measurable random variables. So, this whole space I am drawing it like R2, but it is actually the space of the Hilbert space of square integrable random variables. In that sigma x measurable random variables form a subspace of the Hilbert space, and what you are saying is that if your random variable y is some point here and you have to estimate y based only on things in this subspace, right. So, if you have to pick a sigma x measurable random variable which is the best estimate of your y, geometrically it seems clear that you should pick the foot of the perpendicular, right, and this foot of the perpendicular is really what your conditional expectation is. So, that y minus I of x, which is your estimation error, is orthogonal to the space of is the subspace of sigma x measurable random variables. Okay. Is that clear? So, that is the interpretation we gave. Now, so this is something this is a result you can prove explicitly by writing it out for the case of discrete random variables and jointly continuous random variables. But for more general cases where x and y may be anything, right, where mixtures or singulars or whatever, we did not even define the conditional expectation, right, we do not know how to define it. In fact, this is taken as the definition of conditional expectation in the general case. Okay. So, you can actually prove that for any two random variables x and y and any measurable function g, there exists a random variable which is sigma x measurable such that this error is orthogonal to any function of x. Okay. The existence of such a random variable can be proven, and such a random variable can be shown to be unique except for a set of measure 0. Okay. So, this conditional expectation exists uniquely in an almost sure sense, right. Okay. So, that existence can be proved. Okay. That is how you define conditional expectation in a more general setting. This is taken as a defining equation. Okay. Is that clear? So, now and then we also said that psi of x is an MMSE estimate of y, that is for any function h we have expectation of y minus psi of x squared is less than or equal to expectation of y minus h of x squared. Okay. So, if you have any h of x will be a sigma x measurable random variable, right, it will be some random variable in that subspace, correct. Now, what we are saying is that for any random variable on that subspace, the error y minus the squared error, the mean squared error this is called, right, the expected squared error is smallest when you choose this particular psi of x. Okay. And that is again fairly clear because of this orthogonal interpretation, right. I mean, if this were a normal Euclidean space, this is not a Euclidean space, this is a Hilbert space. If it is a normal Euclidean space, you would obviously choose the foot of the perpendicular as your closest point, and that intuition holds perfectly, right. And therefore, the psi of x is called the minimum mean squared error estimate, MMSE estimate. Okay. How do you prove this? So, I am going to prove it like this. I am going to write expectation of y minus h of x squared is equal to expectation of y minus psi of x squared plus expectation of psi of x minus h of x plus so I am going to write this as, so I am just trying to decompose this, right. I am going to write this as y minus I x plus I minus h x. So I should have a twice expectation of, what would I have, y minus psi x times psi x minus h x. Correct? Fine. Now what can you say? So you agree with this equation? Alright, so I am just, this is just algebra, right, I am just expanding everything out. I hope I have not made a mistake. So now if you look at this term, right, it looks like, so you can consider this as a function of x, right, this is some gx, right. So what you will have is this whole thing is what, 0, right. So this term is 0, you see why, because of that property, correct, and this term is obviously non-negative, right. So this must be greater than or equal to that. That clear? So if you look at this, so if you just look at this, so this term is 0, right. So what this is saying is expected y minus h x squared is equal to expected y minus psi x square plus psi x minus h x square, which is simply Pythagoras theorem, right, in this space, right. All right. So this result follows, okay. So what, so this proof is using this fact, which again you prove using your elementary definition for discrete and jointly continuous random variables. But what you can show, see, in more generality, what you can show is that, I mean, you cannot, so this is taken as some kind of a defining property, right, this is taken as a defining property and you have to show that such a psi x exists uniquely up to a set of measure 0, right. So what you have is that in more general settings, this is not, I mean, this is not something you have to worry about too much, but let me just tell you that if you just consider expected y minus let me say y minus z squared, and I take infimum over all z which are sigma x measurable, okay. So I am considering that, so z is simply some parameter, so z is a random variable which lies in that subspace, okay, and I am looking for that particular z which infimizes expected y minus z whole square, square error from this is the squared error from y, okay. Now this infimum is well defined. Now the point is that this infimum is attained, okay. The reason that this infimum is attained is because this being a subspace of a Hilbert space, Hilbert spaces are continuous, right, I mean to say complete, right, Hilbert spaces are complete. So the space does not have any holes, right. So there must exist a z which satisfies, which actually achieves this infimum, okay, and that infimum is your conditional expectation, okay, and that infimum obviously satisfies this, right, by just algebra, and that is how you define it in a more general setting, at least in L2 spaces, that is how you define it, okay. Is that clear? I said I will briefly indicate how you define conditional expectation in a more general setting, right, which is exactly what I have done now, right. So, this set, so this infimum is attained for some sigma x measurable random variable, and that it is attained because the space is a complete space being a Hilbert space, and that z is called the conditional expectation, and it is unique up to a set of measure 0. Okay.